Hey everyone, welcome to Strange Stories, where we explore near-death experiences and supernatural stories from people who've had a glimpse of the other side. If you enjoy our content, please consider liking the video and subscribing to our channel. Without further ado, let's get to the story of the day. Everything will be fine. God. This is a narrative of an event that shaped the majority of my life. I feel God wants me to share my experience because it will help others deal with challenges in their lives, and you've gotten it as a result. Use it how you see fit. If it's appropriate, please use my name. As you'll see later, the title, It Will Be Okay, God, best describes my experience, but it began many years before. I was saved in Texas when I was 10 years old, in 1965. I was set to start the dreaded senior term assignment in English class as a senior in high school. I don't recall a specific occasion or conversation, but I was inspired to choose the Bible's book of Job as my project. The teacher initially thought it was unusual, but gave me the go light. After a few weeks on the job, she summoned me to a meeting and informed me that her faith forbade the use of various Bible translations. This part of my paper was what made it possible. I was analyzing the many translations to find the common links. I told her that she had approved the assignment, that I had already put in several weeks of work that could not be duplicated, and that this was an English class, not a religion subject. I persisted despite her severe objections. I didn't know why I was feeling so strongly, but I did. I worked hard, finished the paper, and received an A+ on the project. 3 years later, in 1976, the fateful night began with a trip to a local pool hall with a couple of friends. They chose pool and beer, whereas I chose pool and a soft drink. I had completed high school and 3 years of college without taking any drugs or alcohol, and I was not about to start now. The night began peacefully. I was having a good time when a couple of high school pals arrived who I hadn't seen in years. We were getting ready to leave at 11:30 p.m. As we were leaving the building, we saw a man hitting his girlfriend. While I was going to get my car, my pals got involved. More individuals arrived and joined in, but they were all on the opposing side. My friends fled in different directions after circling my car numerous times. Now it was 4-1, and I was the one. One person came in and opened the driver's door. Another came in through the passenger door, and I was dragged from the vehicle. My head smacked the ground and dazed me as I slid to the concrete. I believed I felt someone pull me up by my left arm and then smack me in the ribs. They had stabbed me, I subsequently discovered. Then I discovered adrenaline. I tried to pull away as I got to my feet. Because someone had a grip on the back of my shirt, I simply yanked it off. Then, as quickly as they arrived, they were gone. I realized I couldn't breathe after that. I noticed I was bleeding, and air was pouring out of the hole when I grasped my side. I'd been stabbed, and the wound had pierced my lung. I attempted to catch my breath by holding my palm over the hole. An automobile arrived. "Get in. I'll take you to the hospital," someone yelled as they opened the passenger door. We took off when I crawled in. I kept my hand over the hole and my elbow over my hand. We accelerated through traffic lights and around slower moving vehicles. After that, I started flying in front of Regalia Theater on Camp Bowie on Fort Worth's west side. I could see the car below, and then I noticed the light. It was the most massive, brightest, and all-encompassing light ever seen. I've realized there isn't a shadow in its presence. I became aware of people, vaguely familiar people from my past, but they passed by at such a distance that I couldn't identify them. As if in a tunnel, I was drawn to the light source. I still laugh inwardly when people say light at the end of the tunnel. He then said something. "Do you wish to live or die?" God asked. I was instantly made aware that the response was not to be taken lightly. "There are still certain things I want to do," I said. "I wish to live." "Don't worry. Everything will be fine," God said. Let me explain a little further. The words I quoted are not comparable to what I recall. They are not my simplified version, And they're exactly what he stated, and that's precisely my response. What I was experiencing is now known as an out-of-body experience and a near-death experience. I learned these terminology as I sought to comprehend the experience throughout the years. I feel the labels that are now generally used can be applied to what I went through, but that doesn't change what happened to me. Now, let me return to my personal experience. Everything will be fine, someone assured me. I got back into the car and felt acutely aware of my body. When I saw the Summit Street exit sign, I knew we were close to the hospitals south of downtown Fort Worth. We entered the emergency entrance, and EMTs arrived and loaded me onto a cart. As they started to work, I was acutely aware of my surroundings. A tube was inserted into my chest to inflate my lung, and nurses and physicians surrounded me. I recall a nurse approaching me and asking if I had Blue Cross or Blue Shield, to which I replied, "No, but I have a hole on my side that I wish they would plug." Someone stated that I was undoubtedly stunned, but I'd just been assured that everything would be fine. I was confident it would. I remember seeing my mom and dad right before surgery. On Sunday night, I went to the pool hall. On Monday, I awoke in a hospital bed. I later discovered that I'd been admitted to the emergency room for a week. I'd missed an entire week. I'd spend the next few years attempting to make amends for that week. I'd be permitted to go home to recover after another week. I returned to my college classes a week later to see what I had missed. My studies of the Book of Job became handy at this time. Perhaps my term paper wasn't a fluke after all. At the time, I was a student at the University of Arlington. The first hurdle was realizing I couldn't sketch anymore. I couldn't even sign my name. My aptitude or talent, which I had acquired over a 10-year period, was gone. My stamina and ability to move freely without pain were gone. I became resolved not just to restore the talent I once had, but also to complete the semester. I discovered along the road that I could have whatever I was willing to pay for. I could finally attain it if I wanted it badly enough, and my goal was genuine. I lost both of the jobs I'd been doing to fund my way through college. I couldn't draw, therefore they were drafting jobs. I'd lost my source of income, and the hospital stay had depleted what little money I had left. My health had failed me. I lost friends and family relationships during a time when the only thing that mattered to me was survival. But I treasured those words that God had communicated to me all along. "Everything will be fine," he said. He was serious. He said he would. He has supported it, and he will always do so. My life is no longer the same. I've been married to the girl of my dreams since 1984. I have 2 lovely girls. I have 2 wonderful son-in-laws and 7 wonderful grandchildren. The first 2 were born in 2003 as twins. The third occurred in 2006. The fourth was in 2007. The fifth was in 2011. The sixth was in 2013. And the seventh was in 2016. I have gained some experience. I now understand that God has put me to the test. I know He made me work on the Book of Job in high school so that I would have that understanding later on, and He will continue to put me to the test, and I will continue to rise to the occasion. I don't need to be told which religion I practice. I don't need to be told whether or not there is a God. I was present. He said something, I realized. I've also gained a new set of allies. It is known as the Met Church. I get the finest sensation of warmth and security when I step in the door or just think about them. I can see that light again when I see the vocalists experience the music at the services, especially in their eyes. And it is people I want to help when I think about being needed or contributing to God's work. I wish to continue assisting them in reaching out to individuals in need of a light, those that need to be tested and understand what it's like to succeed on an exam. I am becoming stronger by the day, and while I still face medical issues that began in 1976, I know they're only tests, and I know where to find the strength to fight them and succeed. Some more details for the plot as it progresses. I went to my family doctor for a checkup after a brief unusual illness in 2004 and chose to obtain a physical. The symptoms, tiredness, and a strange moving joint pain did not appear to have a clear cause. I was sent to the ER with signs of a heart attack after an EKG. I was referred to a cardiologist after the enzymes test revealed that I had not had a heart attack. After 2 months of testing, he determined that I had an enlarged heart and a leaky valve. He also discovered that it was hereditary, and after more investigation, I believe he was the source of my father's heart problems, as well as those of my brother and his son. In 2002, my father died of a heart attack. I do not have the other risk factors that my family members do: cholesterol, high blood pressure, stress, etc. Despite the fact that my blood pressure had previously been normal, I was on 2 medications, one to soften the enlarged heart muscle and one to lower it. Everything in my heart is in order. During the testing, several liver enzymes were found to be excessively high. On October 8, 2004, I was diagnosed with hepatitis C after 5 rounds of blood tests. Genotype 1, variant A. It was contracted during the surgery to repair my injuries in 1976. Prior to 1992, the blood supply was not tested for hepatitis before being stored. The blood supply has been continuously tested for this and other viruses since 1992. Hepatitis C is a blood-borne virus with no known cure. It targets the liver and is capable of destroying liver cells. In 2005, my viral count was 2.5 IU per milliliter. Of course, the intended count is 0. The main problem is dealing with the adverse effects. I finished the treatment and was free of the illness. I'll keep an eye on the viral load for the rest of my life. Let's fast forward to 2017. Baylor Hospital called on January 20th to say they had found me a replacement liver. A 40-year-old died and asked to donate their organs. I was a match for the liver. That night, I had surgery to have the liver transplanted into my body. The surgery was a huge success, thanks to God's intervention. And thank you to the Met members, as well as other churches, friends and family who were constantly praying for my health. God heard their prayers and answered them on my behalf. I will be eternally grateful for their prayers and God's assistance. I was supposed to be in the hospital for 3 weeks. The physicians declared that I was ready to go home after 5 days. There has been little pain, and rehabilitation has been relatively simple. I'm excited to be able to serve again. I told you things would be okay, God also said. Please let me know if you think this tale can benefit someone. Now I have to wipe away some more tears. When I had my near-death experience in 1976, God told me, "Don't worry, everything will be okay." I completely believe what he stated. I don't think he'll change his mind. As a result, I'll be fine. I assume this is also the test. I feel I'll also obtain a passing mark on this one.